Welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty with apparently a squeaky chair today. When will I be YouTube famous? I don't know. However, what I do know is that hopefully you're watching this in black and white. And if you are watching this in black and white, then you know it's another one of my collabs. Well, of course you know it's another one of my collabs. You've read the title before you click the video. I think I need more coffee, folks. Right, this is the fourth in my photo inspiration collab series, where one photo inspires two people to produce two usually very different looks. So, today's film, I am collabing with Linda. Linda is another of the Swedish YouTubers that I follow, and she also absolutely loves doing colourful eye looks. So I thought she'd be perfect for collab number 4. So, if you've come over from her channel, hi, hello, welcome. Get comfy, put your feet up, have a drink, have a snack. This is probably a little bit longer than one of her films, because where mine are aimed at all skill levels, I talk you through every single step. I won't be offended if you speed up some of the blending, but you may lose a little bit of the ASMR quality unless sounding like one of Alvin and the Chipmunks is ASMR for you. So, if you want to see exactly what the photo is that inspired this look, and exactly what this looks like in a glorious Technicolor, then my friend, you're in exactly the right place. Here it comes. Hey, welcome back from the intro. Right, okay. I'm really hoping I remember to turn the intro black and white again, because this is collab number 4, I believe. Nikki, Jessica, Chelsea. Yeah, collab number 4. On my photo inspiration series. Now, the lady that I'm collabing with this time is a very micro channel. I think she's got fewer subscribers than I have. I discovered her through Marlin. Now, I do watch a lot of Swedish YouTubers. Started off with Angelica Nyquist. Through her, I found Paulina Aspejung, or Paulina Beauty. I randomly discovered Jessica Stars Hollywood Jessica, that I did the third one of these collabs with. Through her I found Malin, and through Malin I found Linda, and Linda is the lady that I am collabing with today. She has got the most restful voice combined with her gorgeous accent, and it's so calming watching her films. And I don't know what it is about Swedish YouTubers, but they all love colour, which is awesome. Sorry if I'm sounding a little bit croaky. Hubby has a cold. Hoping he's not giving it to me. I'm hoping this is just early morning croak. Ugh. But I have got a drink here in my skull-shaped mug with silicone reusable straws, so it's good for the environment and all that. Now, I will have shown you a picture of Linda in the intro, or I will show you a picture of Linda in the intro when I film it. This is the this way, bomber. This is the picture that I sent her, which I have actually got on my fan in front of me. So you can see it's a really pretty picture. You've got the beautiful yellows and pinks of the trees. You've got that lovely, stunning, deep green of the foliage. But if you look at the water, that's kind of a goldy, bronzy, greeny kind of colour. And then the beautiful white, fluffy water coming down. So, just something about that picture called to me. I sent it across to Linda. She's like, wow, that's pretty, yes. So, I am going to be using 3 different items today. I'm going to be going into my Certify Affinity palette for the yellow and the pink, obviously. Then I'm going to come into my Smoke Sessions palette because, as well as being able to use this beautiful green for the foliage, it's got a greeny, bronzy, which to me looks very similar to the colour of the water in the actual pond bit. So glad I've got that. And then for the white, the brightest, whitest thing that I own at the present is the Ofra Nikki Tutorials Collab Glazed Donut. I just want to show you something. It's a little bit pretty. I'm going to get that everywhere. It's marvellous. Right, this collab series is based around one photo inspiring 2 people to produce 2 different looks. And it's just to show you that you can use colour in a lot of different ways. You don't have to always do the same. I mean, if I do a look on my channel that you like, but you think, oh, now see, if I'd done it, I would have done this here and that there. Do it then. That's the beauty of makeup. I want my films, to help educate you, which is why I come in so close when I'm doing it and I talk you through each step, so that if you're a complete beginner who's never picked up a brush before, you're still going to be able to follow my tutorials. If you're an expert, you can speed me up through the blending and stuff, because I am quite slow at that because of my chronic pain. But that does have the side effect of beginners can keep up with me, which is awesome. But as well as inspiring you, or rather, as well as educating, I want to inspire. My brain is really not with me today, is it? I want to inspire you. I want you to look at the finished eye result and think, I could do that, or if I did that, I'd swap those 2 colours round, or I'd change this for that. And then I want you to go and just pick up your makeup and have a play, because it's fun. Playing with makeup really is fun. It's one of the best things to do, to be quite honest, in terms of calming yourself down. And the best of it is, if you don't like what you've done at the end of it, you haven't wasted a canvas, like you would if you were doing an oil painting. You can just take it all off and start again. Right, my face is washed, moisturised, SPF'd and primed as always with my antiperspirant primer. There's a mini film of this listed in the description box. I've actually had a couple of people more recently, I think they're newbies to the channel, and they've seen this in the description, gone and watched it, and I've had a couple of people message me and say, this is amazing, I have the same problem with you with chronic pain, or I have side effects from meds like you do, or just I'm a very sweaty person, and this would be awesome for helping keep makeup on. The thinner the layer you use, the better, to be honest. Underneath that today, because my face was feeling a little bit like it needed some extra help, it's been particularly cold and windy this weekend, so as well as my moisturisers that I use, I sprayed some of this on. This is the Revolution Aqua Priming Base, just before I put the antiperspirant one on, just because I felt my face needed a little bit of help. My eyes, all I've got on there at the moment is Conceal and Define, blended out but not set. So, should we get you zoomed in and start this look. How's your day been? I hope it's been a good one, or if you're watching me to ease you into the start of your day, like a certain chappie I know does, I hope it's going to help ease you in nicely. And I hope your day will be a good one. And you can tell I haven't set this because it's creasing. I've got deep set eyes, so I understand the issues that people with hooded eyes have. But the way that I'm doing the tutorial today, people with hooded eyes can follow it without needing to change brushes or anything. Right, so I'm going into this Certify Affinity palette. Oh, I can't wait for the second one to come out, the blue one, blue and green one. I'm like, ooh, it's got my name written all over it. But it hasn't got my name written all over it, obviously it's got Certify written on it. But you know what I mean. At least, I hope you know what I mean. Right, if I can get this brush to go back in where I've just taken it out from, it doesn't want to go back in again. Oh, for goodness sake, you came out, will you go back in? Worry about that later. I think I'm going to start off with quite a densely tapered brush. There we go, concentrate on the brush, thank you. Because I really want to keep the colour quite contained initially. So, I'm going to go into Salma. Now, if you don't know, Certify, the lady that runs this, her sister is the lady who owns and runs Blush Tribe. Blush Tribe, I have a discount code for, non-affiliated. Certify, I'm afraid I don't. But the reason I mention it is because Salma is the lady who runs Blush Tribe, so she's named one of these shades after her family, or her sister. So I'm just going to tap into this. I'm tapping off onto my colour switch, but because the sponge is starting to tear a bit, I'm just going to use a washcloth to change, a dry washcloth to change colours. As you can see, beautiful yellow. So I'm going to start off plopping this here. So obviously if you've got hooded eyes, just put it far enough up that you leave yourself a bit of lid space here. Just going to take it to there. I don't think I want to bring it down this time. I'm just going to, because obviously I've not set the base, so I'm just gently tapping, moving the brush backwards and forwards, just to tap that colour in. Take it a little bit higher up. This is such a beautiful yellow, and I think it matches the beautiful bright yellow on that picture really nicely. So I'm just going to go halfway along with that. Yep, okay. And now I'm going to do exactly the same on the other eye. Now with this eye, I'm blind in this eye. It got pulled around an awful lot when I was a child, and because of that I've got seriously deep creasing here, as you can see. Really, really deep creasing. So don't pull your eye around unless you absolutely have to. Otherwise, you'll end up with deep creasing like I've got. So again, I'm not worried if it gets onto the lid here because I'm going to be going over it with a shimmer later. So I'm just going to again take this to sort of the outside edge of my iris. I'm just going to pat this in and gently build the colour up, just like I did with the other side. Just keep checking. Obviously raise your brows when you're putting the powder on, but then just drop your brows like you would do, because you don't walk around like this all day, do you? Well, I hope you don't walk around like this all day. If you have, you've had really bad facelift or Botox. And just keep checking that you've got the amount of colour showing that you want. I'm treating these as pressed pigments. They're not pressed pigments. If I set my lid, I could just blend out with these. I have got, I don't know if it's live yet, but I have got a film that I've done with this particular palette. But because I really want them to really, I want the colour to be woo in your face. That's why I'm just tapping it on. So that's my phone just going. It's marvellous. It's quiet all day. The minute I sit down to film, texts, WhatsApp messages, phone calls, Facebook Messenger messages. So yeah, I'm just really, just gently tapping this pigment on and just really building it up so it's really beautifully bright and stunning, which is, do you know what, I could just bathe in this colour. I'd look like a member of The Simpsons then, wouldn't I have had a request from someone to do an all yellow look, which I will do at some point. I have got one film up where I've used all yellow, where I just used one yellow shadow and showed you how I blended it up. But I teamed that with like I think purple eyeliner and lashes. If I can remember, and if I can find it, and you can hire them the A-team, I'll link that film in the box below. I'll probably forget. If I forget, just drop me a comment and I'll edit the box. Right, so as you can see, it has stained the brush a little bit, but it comes out when you wash your brush. So right, and I'm now going to go into which of those pinks is going to look closest. I think Shazia. I was torn between Riz and Shazia, but I think Shazia is closer to. Let me just stick the picture up here again. You watch me forget to put the picture in just there when I'm editing. Anyway, as I said, I think that pink is closer to the colour of the beautiful foliage. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing with this, just wow. Oh, I've forgotten how beautiful this one is. Now I'm just going to relax my brows to make sure I get the shape that I want. I kind of want to bring it out to there, and then almost do quite a sharp, and rather than curving it, I really want a today. I'm just going to bring that down. I may end up covering this pink up that comes down to here, but it's just so that I can get the shaping that I want. I think I'll just bring that up a little bit more. Yeah, that's the kind of shape that I want. And just fill it in, basically. So I've basically done a huge great triangle. Oh, I love this palette. I've still got quite a few palettes that I bought sort of New Year's Eve kind of thing, and through December that had taken a while to arrive, and then they arrived and I wasn't well, so I couldn't use them. So I've still got a few palettes that I need to do like kind of first impression reviews on. Then I can start playing with this palette more, because it is a stunner. It really is. Pretty, 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 pretty. Yes. I am going to blend this top out in a minute, don't panic. I know it looks very harsh lined at the moment. It's very 80s at the moment, actually, to be quite honest. Right, so how far out did I go? I went to about there, didn't I? About there? Yeah, because it roughly lines up with the end of my brow. So I'll just tap the pig. This is the hardest bit, trying to get both sides to look the same. This is the bit that I always struggle with. I am going to blame it on only having one eye to see with, rather than me being a klutz. So I'm going to put that up a little bit too high. I feel like that's more of a right angle, and that's... oh no, it is more of a right angle, isn't it? What about the same shape? Yeah, I think so. I'll just complete the triangle. Bermuda Triangle. Sorry. I am very random. I think it's part of being part Welsh. Yes, you know, you can find a song about anything. Mind you, my friends and I, we're the type that will be chatting and all of a sudden one of us will just randomly burst into song lyrics that apply to the conversation. So, you know, if you can't handle us randomly bursting into song lyrics, you really wouldn't enjoy a night out on the town with us, because, yeah, we're a little bit like that. So, just build that up to the colour that I want, so that it matches both sides. As I said, this is the worst bit, getting the two sides to match up. It's worth taking the time to do it though, because it can make a difference. And don't forget, you know, your eyes are not, or at least most people's eyes, are not absolutely symmetrical. So you may have to do one triangle a slightly different shape to the other one, so that once it's done and you relax your eyes, they look the same each side. There we go. Like so. Oh, I do like this colour. Okay, so I'm going to take this pink off. I do look like a tutti frutti lolly again. My mate Sophie be well happy. She loves when I do tutti frutti looks. In here somewhere, I should have. What is it? When you've got a million brushes, you can never actually find the one you're looking for. It's easy to brush it out, that might make it easy to find. I could do it this way. Sorry, I'm aware I'm being very annoying right now. Oh no, there's the one I'm looking for. Right in front of my nose. Isn't it always the way? Do you do that? Do you look for something and you think, I know it's in here, but you just, for the life of you, can't find it? I'm so glad it's not just me. Right, I've gone for... This is the one I've just used, so it's like a stubby blender. This one is a lot looser and it comes up almost to a point. So it's very similar in shape to one of my tapered blending brushes that I've got from Coastal Scents, but it just has a slightly softer tip rather than coming right up to a point like that. And I'm just going to, because I don't want to lose any of the brightness of the colour, I'm going to go into Monaza, which is this sort of matte bone or cream colour. And I'm just going to really gently just tap that along the edge of the shade, and then do tiny little circles. just to soften the edge a bit. Now, obviously, you can't really see that white going on because it does actually match my skin tone. If you are darker than me, you might find it easier to use something closer to your skin tone to blend this edge out. Because that's all I wanted to do. Look, can you see the difference between this and this one? I've just really softened that top line, but I've not actually added any additional colour to the look. Now I'm doing the yellows first because I don't want to get any pink into the yellow if I can help it. I'm going to blend that line later, but at the moment I'm just softening the edges up. So yeah, if you are darker than me, then definitely use, instead of a white, use a colour that's kind of your skin tone or maximum one shade lighter than your skin tone, so that when you blend it out, you're not really, I mean, you could blend it out with whatever you use as your setting powder. If you don't have, you know, I could use like translucent powder to blend out these edges. So if you don't have an eyeshadow that's the right colour, whatever you would normally use as your setting powder for your face, then use that just to soften the edge up. Okay. I'm just going to clean my brush so I get any yellow off of it or any excess yellow. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Why am I showing you that? You're not going to be able to see blooming cream coloured pigment on a cream brush. Honestly, Ange. So I'm just tapping it onto the edge to start with. Picking up a little bit more, tapping on again, and then really small, gentle circles just to soften the edge of it. You can see it has lightened it up ever so slightly at the edge there, but I don't mind that too much actually. I think it looks quite nice. I'm not going to soften this edge up because I want to keep this reasonably sharp, but this top edge I just do want to soften just a little bit, so it's not quite so 1980s blunt sort of geometric look. I'm not going for that today. Okay, you can see the difference there between the two. So I'm just going to go back in and do the same on this side. So the reason that I put the powder on first, then go back for some more before I blend it, is because obviously I've still got a sticky base there, because I've not set the concealer that was on there. So I'm just really gently, tiny little circles, backwards and forwards. If it needs a little bit more blending, just pick up a little bit more of your powder and just... Oh, and you can do this without any powder on your brush at all. But I kind of wanted the gradient to lift ever so slightly as it blends out. So the reason I'm doing that is because I kind of want to lift some of the tone at the end. If you don't like that, you can always go back in. You can either use a brush without any shadow on it, or you can go back in afterwards and top up the colour here, which I might still do, depends how it looks when I'm done. But I just really wanted to blow out the edge a little bit there, that was all. So it looks a little bit softer. Sorry, my voice was making me get annoyed. any excess powder off of that brush. And I'm now going to really gently buff between the two just to soften where those two meet on the lid. And it's worth being patient and taking your time with it. And I'm holding the brush right at the very end, as you can see, so that I'm putting as little pressure on the eye as possible. Pardon me, did you hear that burp? I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of the Salma, the yellow, because this side is not wanting to buff together quite as well, and I'm starting to lose some of the depth of the yellow, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of Salma on just to help blend. That's better, those two shades together. And then use the back of the brush that hasn't got any pigment on just to... There we go. Ooh, I'm liking this look. I know I shouldn't say that because I've done it myself, but I really do like this look. Right. Shall I cut my crease? Yeah, I think I might do today actually. Hockey docky. So, because this one that I've got is nearly empty, I have to dig right to the bottom of the thing to get any on my brush. I'll just... Now the way that I do mine is that I sort of roughly pop it on my lid, because where I've got deep set eyes I do have the problem that people with hooded eyes have, where I get transference up onto the lid. So I do that and then open my eyes and blink a few times, and then that gives me a line here to show me how far up I need to go. Now if I want a really, really sharp line there, I'll use one of these brushes, the nail art brushes. But I want quite a slightly softer line today, so I'm just going to use an ordinary brush to pop this on. Do you know what? If I actually got a small mirror and held it up here so I could see what I was doing, it might make life a little bit easier for me, mightn't it? So you can see I'm just literally popping this concealer, following the line, taking it to roughly where the two colours blend, and then I'm going to come down. Harry Potter fans, you ready? Diagon Alley. Down to the corner here. And then just use my finger just to soften that edge just a little bit, okay? And I'm going to do the same on this eye. So just roughly pop the concealer on, open my eye and blink a few times, and that shows me where my cut crease needs to be. The reason I've actually leaned in to do this one is because where this eye has such deep creasing, I have to kind of stretch the lid out a little bit. Otherwise, I have the issue that it kind of skims over the deep creases, and I end up with it looking patchy, and then it ends up coming down. The actual shimmers end up cascading down my eye through the day. So again, diagonally up to the top. And then just use your finger just to pat on the edge to soften the edge of the line. And that was just Revolution Conceal and Define in C1, if you were wondering. I'm just going to pat over that and make sure it's... Because I can't close this eye, I have to get a little bit more close up because I have to look down, so I can't look into there to do it. So, just make sure there's no splotchy bits anywhere. And I'm going to clean the concealer off of this brush. And I'm going to very carefully just pat over the concealer that we'd laid down, just to take any excess concealer off. Now you can do this with your finger, but with my nails, I don't like putting sharp nails that close to my eye. I don't mind on the outside edge here. But you can see that actually takes off quite a bit of excess. And it just means that your shimmer, when you apply it, goes on a little bit smoother. I'll do the same with this side. Obviously I need to, annoyingly, I have to stretch it out. I'm literally just lightly patting over the whole area. To grab any excess concealer from the lid. And as you can see, it does actually get quite a bit off. Right, now's the fun bit, because now we get to play with the shimmers. So, where did I put my smoke sessions? There it is. So, I'm going to go into my Smoke Sessions palette. Just a reminder for you. I'm going to be using this shade and this shade. There we go, and to get your fingers in the right order might help. Now, I'm going to get a brush like this so that I can get nice and close into this corner here. And I think I'm going to apply these shimmers dry initially. So I'm going to go into Black Widow and just pack some of that onto the brush. And then very carefully just tap that onto the lid. And because I didn't wet it, I can go straight back in to the palette again. To pick up more pigment. I'm not sure this brush is actually picking the pigment up very well, to be honest. Let's go back to an Old Faithful. This is one of my BH Cosmetics brushes. This is number 10 from the Smoke and Mirrors set. not really talking to you very much, am I? I'm concentrating, I'm sorry. And as you can see, I'm just really gently patting the colour on. I'm going to stop it just before where the yellow meets the pink. So you can see it's literally sort of this brush width away from where the yellow meets the pink. And now I'm going to do exactly the same thing with this eye, but as I said, unfortunately I have to stretch this one out, which I hate doing. Do not do this unless you absolutely have to. You know, I don't recommend pulling your eye about like this at all. Unfortunately, I have to because the creasing is so deep on my eyes where it was pulled around. Bearing in mind, nearly 40 years ago now, and the damage was done when I was a kid. But if I don't do this, it kind of skims over the deep creasing, and then as I blink during the day, I'll get pigment falling down. So I have to make sure I get it absolutely in that creasing. To prevent that from happening. And again, I'm going to stop about a brush width before the yellow meets the pink. I do like this Smoke Sessions palette. If you're wondering why mine was looking so messy, by the way, because as you know, I'm one of those people that even if I've really used a palette, it still looks brand new. This actually arrived broken, and I had to repress pretty much every single shimmer, which is why it looks as messy as it does. It also means I have genuinely no idea if this is how these shimmers would normally perform, because you know I've reset them, and when you reset them, you've never used the same pressure that the manufacturers have when they're pressing them, so who knows, but I do like them. Okay, I'm going to go for a slightly wider brush now, so I'm going to go for this one. This again is from the BH Smoke and Mirrors, and this is number 5. No Disassemble, number 5. Name the film. So that was Black Widow that I've put on. I'm now going into Mean Green. Packing that on. Get rid of the fluff off the top of it, might be a good idea, mightn't it? And then I'm going to pop this onto the remainder of the lid. So the first shade that we put on was the sort of the murkiness of the pond, and this here now is the beautiful foliage of the trees. And as you can see, my lid moves a lot because I'm about 6 weeks away from being 45 and I've lost about 10 stone, 11 stone in the last few years. So the skin on my eyelids moves. Yeah. Oh, I do like that. I do like this palette. I was going to use the Hasina 2 for the greens in there, but they didn't have the sort of murky bronzy green that I could use for the water. So I thought rather than using 3 palettes, I mean I could have used the Hasina for the green in there and then come back to Smoke Sessions for the, you know, this one, but I just thought, no, I'll just use the, if it's all in one palette then I can just use the one palette. You can see it's such a beautifully rich green as well. Okay. Now I am just going to clean my brush. And then very carefully buff down the centre. So I'm dragging the green into the bronze and the bronze into the green. Just so that it softens the line just a bit. You can still see the definition there as you can with the pink and the yellow. It just softens the line just a little bit so it's not quite so harsh. More of a nice blend between the two. Right, okay, I'm going to go off camera now and do foundation and everything, and I will be back to finish this eye look. So, I'll see you instantly. I'm back. Did you miss me? Of course you didn't. It was instant for you. What am I talking about? I have no idea. Right. Wow, I did my brows very powerful today, huh? Ooh. I'm going to go in with this flat top brush, and I'm going to go back into the Certified palette and pick up a Shazia, which is the pink. Love this colour. Ooh. And then I'm just going to just draw a line very carefully from the edge of that triangle past the edge of the green, and then continue it along under the lower lash line, going as close as we can to those lashes. Okay, so you can see that literally follows right round. Now I know normally whatever I've done on my lid I do underneath my eye, but this pink is just too pretty not to use it again, and I felt like doing something a bit different today anyway. Plus, of course, I still need to put the white on for the water. Gee, my still squeak. Must need oiling. Either that or it's my back, one of the two. It was the stool. My back goes clunk, not creak. That's why my body's a temple, ancient, crumbling, and probably haunted. Okay, and I'm just gonna, there we go, just gonna take the pink off of this brush, and then I have another flat top brush here, but it's much thicker. And it's great for smudging out under the lash line. I'm going to pop into Salma, which obviously is the yellow, and just very gently buff along just on and under the pink, just to mirror the colours that we have above, because obviously if this is the water and the trees are above it, then I want the trees to be reflected in the water. That's my thinking anyway. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to everybody. If not, well, just enjoy the pretty colours. I just love playing with colour. Crazy thing is, in my 20s and 30s, I was very conservative with my makeup. And when I hit 40 and I'm like, ah, do you know what? Let's go for it. Let's have fun with colour. And I've been getting more and more colourful ever since. I feel like a bird of paradise. Right, let's pop my Certify palette back down over there. Now it's time for glazed donut. So I'm going to use this was a really cheap brush that I got off of Amazon about 7 or 8 years ago. It's been washed so many times and yet it is still absolutely cracking and perfect shape to go just up under the tail of your brow here. Nice. You can see what I mean now about just how brilliantly bright this is. This is actually brighter than Jeffree Star's Ice Cold, which is pretty damn impressive if you ask me, because that is one heck of a highlighter. This one, better. I know, people are getting astounded, people that know me, they're like, but you're always loving Jeffree Star. Yes, but I'm also very honest in my opinions, and this one is better than Jeffree's Ice Cold. It's that simple. Right, now I'm going to go into the inner corner here, and I'm going to carry that along just underneath until it meets and blends in with those. And I should do the same this side. So, inner corner. Bear in mind this is being applied dry as well. And carry that along and just blend it in. Like so. I do love this. I love this highlighter. Right, let's zoom you out a fraction. When I say a fraction, I obviously mean quite a bit. This is a tiny fan brush because if I use one of my more dense brushes like this one or my Zoeva brush, it's a thing. Let's just say that. So with this particular highlight, you're better off with a nice, loosely packed, see what I mean, fan brush. Oh, hello, highlight. It's not one for the faint-hearted, this. As you can see, I might have gone a little bit low down the face with this side, but never mind. That's clearly where my highlight wanted to be today, so let's let it have its moment. It's the waterfall after all, it's cascading down my cheekbone as fluffy white water. See? I bet you I forget to put it in here as well. fluffy, cascading white water. Oh, I do love this highlight. Right, okay. I am going to go and pop a lippy on and some mascara and do something with my hair, and I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. I'm back. Right, the mascara that I used is the Catrice Glam & Doll Waterproof Volume Mascara. If you can get hold of this, do so, because this is a bang-on dupe for Benefit Bad Gal Bang, but it's €4, which is about £3.50-ish, or $4.5, $5 probably. But this is amazing. I heard about this from Nikki Raven, and the only place I can actually find it at the moment is Germany, because although Catrice is sold in the UK, I'm yet to find it over here. So I may have done an order for 3 more of these to last me for a year, because normally a mascara lasts me between 3 and 4 months. So I may just have made an order for 3 more of these, so that should Brexit actually happen on the 29th of March, I can still get hold of the mascara that I want. The lipstick is from Jeffrey's 2018 Christmas or holiday range, and it is Area 51. And just checking my teeth, because last time I used a bullet lipstick I had it all over my teeth and didn't realise until editing, which was a bit embarrassing. This is one of his bullet lipsticks, as you can see. But I just thought it reflected the picture very nicely, because obviously green, hello. So there we go. This is snuggle time, by the way, with pandas on the front, if you're wondering. This is how I have interpreted that photo. What do you think? How do you think I did? Would you have done this, or would you have done it differently? Let me know in the comments. So, there we go. My 4th collab completed. Once you finish watching this, it would be absolutely awesome if you would just nip over and watch Linda's version of this and see how similar or how different her look is. And if you have come here from Linda's channel, hi, hello, welcome. I hope you enjoyed it here, and I hope you would like to stay. Right, that's it. Done. If you liked this and if you want to see more of these, it'd be awesome if you could hit that like button for me, comment, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to ring my bell, and choose all notifications so that you get told every time that I upload another one of these films. And as YouTube keep deleting people even when they are subscribed, have notifications on, and have watched every single one of my films, and they're still getting unsubscribed by YouTube, even if you've been subscribed for a while, and even if I'm still in your news feed, please just double check that you are still subscribed to me, because my numbers do float up and down like a duck in a bathtub during a storm. Why would a storm affect a bathtub? Okay, if you're new here, my brain does occasionally go off at tangents like that. Right, once you have watched this film and you've watched Linda's film, it'd be awesome if you could check out a few of my other films. There's an awful lot on the channel to choose from. You can either go to a playlist and just set that running and sit back and chill and relax, or you can just go to the most recent uploads and see what you've missed. And once you've done all of that, my beautiful sisters in the Beauty YouTuber Growth Group are as ever listed in my description box below. And it'd be awesome if you could pop over and check one of their channels out as well, or even all of their channels. Right, that's it. All that remains for me to say, as ever, is you'll stay fabulous, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.